Sometimes you're kind of like just talking to each other, you're kind of having sex, you're Netflix and chilling, you're acting like boyfriend and girlfriends without that title. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah, and on this channel I help you grow in your faith, date healthier, and become who God has called you to be. Today we start our Situationship series. Let's go. I'm super excited. Let's do this thing. Hey. But before we get started, if you want to become part of the Becoming family, subscribe here below so that you're notified every Wednesday when I post a video. So today we're going to be talking about what is situationships, a signs that you're in it, and God's plan for you. So let's get started. So what is a situationship? Well, a situationship is that in-between stage where you're talking to somebody, you're not necessarily boyfriend and girlfriend, and you're not necessarily always talking to other people. Sometimes you are. Sometimes you both are seeing other people at the same time as you guys are in a situation. But sometimes you're kind of like just talking to each other, you're kind of having sex, you're Netflix and chilling, you're acting like boyfriend and girlfriends without that title. It kind of happens really innocently, where you meet a guy or you meet a girl and you both just start to get to know one another and you're vibing. And slowly as the months pass, you realize that the relationship is not progressing to the next level. It still remains in this in-between stage of just like we're talking. Whenever you ask the guy or ask the girl, yo, what are we doing? It's like we're talking, we're just vibing, getting to know each other, we're chilling, and there's no form of commitment down the line. It starts to feel like, how long are we going to talk? How long are we going to get to know each other before we can literally move on to the next phase? And even though it happens innocently and no one wishes themselves into it, I think it can happen when you don't really know what you want. We sometimes look on social media and we see our friends getting into relationships, getting married, and you're like, dang, I'm in my 20s, mid-20s. God, when you gonna bring me my man? When you gonna bring me my husband? And you see Joe over there and he just slid into your DMs and he's asking you, and he's been taking you out on dates and he's been a little consistent here and there, and all of a sudden, because you really want a boyfriend, you jump into it without really assessing whether or not this is God's will for you to be with this person. So you find yourself in this cycle, dating someone who doesn't even meet your needs, doesn't even meet your wants, or things that you even really want in a partner. But because you don't want to be alone, you find yourself stuck in that in-between stage of being in a situationship. Alright, let's look at the signs that shows that you could be in a situationship. The first one, the relationship has no title. So you might be in a situationship if you've been talking to someone for a while now and there's no sense of progression towards committing to define what it is that you guys are doing. It's still in that flow stage. You've been flowing for 6 months. You've been flowing for a year, 2 years. Girl, that man is not about to cuff you up. If you're looking for a sign, this is it. The second sign that you're in a situationship, he's not ready to commit. You've been with him for a while, like we've kind of talked about, right? And he's just not ready to make you his girlfriend. He just don't see you as that person to be his girlfriend. He enjoys hanging out with you and doing other things with you, but he's just not ready to commit to a relationship with you. And one of my close guy friends told me this. He was like, most of the time, if you listen, a guy would tell you exactly what it is that he wants. So in my situation, sometimes a guy would tell me, hey, right now I'm just chilling. I'm not looking for anything serious. But what I end up doing is I stay there. I stay there thinking that I could change his mind by being great, by caring for him into liking me or loving me, that he'll change his mind and want a relationship with me. A lot of us girls do that. I have friends and know other people who have done the same thing. That a guy will be like, they're not ready for a relationship. They're just kind of in that phase of getting to know themselves or just focusing on their business or whatever it is, right? They've kind of told you they're not ready for a relationship. They're not ready to commit. But yet you stay. When you know that you want a relationship, you want commitment. However, because this guy checks off so many things on your list, you stay wishing that he'll commit to you. But the truth is, even though he checks off so many things on your list, one of the most important things that he does not check off is the fact of wanting to commit to you. And that's a hard lesson to learn, because for me, it was like, oh my gosh, he's this, he's that, he makes me laugh. But then it's like, but he doesn't want me the way I want him. So it's been able to take a step back and accept that reality sometimes, that everybody you want, everybody who wants to commit to you is not always going to want the same things as you or want a relationship with you. And once you find that out, that that's the space that you guys are in, be strong enough to leave, because he's already told you what he wanted. Now, you can't necessarily blame him for doing exactly what he wants. If you want something totally different, if you want commitment, you have to be strong enough to wait for God to send you someone that will be willing to commit to you. So the third sign is you're settling. The truth is, you know deep down that this, whatever it is that y'all doing, isn't it. This is not how you want to be treated. This is not how you want to even give love or receive love. But because you don't want to be alone, because you don't want to experience what comfortable or uncertain journey of being alone would look like, you're settling for what seems good right now, even though it's not God's best for you. The fourth sign to look out for is the fact that you're not growing. The relationship has the same old problems that you had from the very first week or second week that you entered in. It's no longer challenging you. You both are very stagnant, and it's just like you already know what he's gonna say. You already know what he's gonna do. It's very predictable. You're not growing. You're not being challenged. You know, it's just like we're at a standstill. It's no progress towards anything. You've been in the same stage for like a while now. And the problem with that is you're hindering yourself from becoming who God has called you to be by becoming stuck where God has not placed you to be. The fifth sign is God isn't in it. And if you're honest, God wasn't in it from the very beginning. This situationship, one, has drawn you further away from God. You don't even spend time in His Word anymore. Those things that you used to do, you don't do it anymore. And every time you try to even pray, you can't even pray it right. You know, you're just like, Heavenly Father, thank you for this. Thank you for waking me up. Thank you for taking me to sleep. In Jesus' name, amen. Your prayers are like so empty. None are like heartfelt. It's just like spilling words out to God. So that's something to kind of assess. It's like, where's my heart? Is my heart with God, or is my heart kind of floating around in this situationship? The sixth sign that you may be in a situationship is if you keep questioning yourself. It's like you're questioning your self-esteem, you're questioning your self-worth, you're questioning everything about yourself. And sometimes you find yourself talking to your girlfriend like, girl, I just don't get it. Like, why doesn't he want a relationship? You know, it feels like we're in a relationship, but why doesn't he want it? You're asking questions like, why doesn't he want me? And as you continue to ask yourself those questions, you're starting to feel less than about yourself. You're starting to feel like you're not good enough for him, that you have to be more of this, more of that before he could want you. And why do you want to be with somebody who cannot accept you for who you are in your fatality, that you have to change who you are in order to be liked, to be with, to be worthy of commitment? Like, where to do that at? So if you're in that space of just feeling anxious all the time and confused, you know, that's a huge sign that this isn't it. So the last sign isn't really a sign, but it's this whole idea that a situationship is not God's plan for you. And with that, I want to share with you this verse, Jeremiah 29:11. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." And when you think about the situationship that you're in, and you look at the verse, God's saying that He has plans to prosper you. This situationship is not prospering you. It's taking away from you. It's taking away your inner peace. It's causing you more confusion and anxiety that you need in your life. And then it also said that it's not to harm you, right? And you may be thinking, you know, this situationship is not harming me physically, but emotionally, it's taking away your joy. It's taking away your peace of mind. It's taking away more from you than it's given you. And it said a plan to give you a hope and a future. And as we talked about earlier, this situationship has no title. This guy doesn't see you in his future. There's no plan. There's no sense of direction. So obviously this situationship is not even aligning with God's plan and purpose. So those were the 8 signs that I came up with that shows that you're in a situationship. So question of the day. What other signs can you think of that shows that you're in a situationship? Share in the comments so that we can have a discussion and learn from one another. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. And if you found this video to be valuable to you, or you know someone that it could add value to, please share with them. I really appreciate the support. I look forward to hearing from you guys next week and just being on here building this community. And thank you so much for all your support for my first video. You guys are amazing. Bye guys.